Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, McNallie Money, home of all things stock, investment, and personal finance related. Now for today's video, we're going to be talking about one of my personal favorites on the channel, none other than the Valens Company. Now they just came out with impressive Q2 numbers, and Q2 was actually when they folded in the Green Roads acquisition, which really solidified their entrance into the United States. So I'm super excited to get this video out, get an update for you guys on the company. Share price has pulled back dramatically since our last video, so I think it's a really good buying opportunity and a great time to take another look at the Valens Company. Now before we get into it, you guys, please take a second to smash the like button. It's 100% free to do and it helps me out in a huge way. If you're not subscribed to the channel itself, McNallie Money, feel free to do so. And let me know in the comment section below what you thought about their Q2 results, if you're currently holding shares of the Valens Company, and what your thoughts are about Green Roads acquisition and the entrance into the United States. Now without further ado, let's jump right into today's video. Okay guys, so that's right. Today we're going to be giving an update on the Valens Company. As most of you know, this is currently my largest holding across all of my accounts combined. So I'm super interested in this company. They just came out with Q2 numbers, which we're going to talk about in a second here. Q2 was actually when they saw the acquisition of Green Roads get folded into the overall business model. So that really gives them expanded presence in the United States. For those of you who don't know, Green Roads is a leading CBD company in the US based out of Florida. So we're going to talk about some of the synergies between these two companies. We're going to go through their updated investor presentation. And then I'm going to give you guys a couple of reasons why I'm so excited about the Valens Company moving forward and compare some of their metrics to others in the MJ industry here in Canada. So first things first here, you guys, I wanted to bring up the chart. This is a 1-year view. So you can see the share price has pulled back substantially from when we last talked about Valens on the channel. They trade under the ticker symbol VLNS. And you can see back in May here, we were actually flirting with $4. So Valens has actually pulled back about $1.50 from those highs they saw a couple of months ago. And if we zoom into a 1 month here, you can see that the company was all the way down in the mid 220s just a couple of weeks ago. So I think it's a great time to be loading up or adding to your position on the Valens Company. And based on this recent share price pullback, we're now sitting at a market cap in the mid 400 million. So compared to a lot of the other players in this space, I think Valens is an absolute steal, especially at these prices. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit more detail later in the video. So first up here, I wanted to talk about the Q2 results. Now these came out July 14th, so just about 10 days ago. And there's a couple big pieces of news that I wanted to go over. So number one, you can see they call out Valens entering the US market with the acquisition of Green Roads, which we just touched on the previous slide there. The second thing I wanted to bring your attention to is really the number of SKUs or the SKU count that this company is continuing to put into the market. So they've actually increased SKUs by 76% and are now sitting over 132 products as of the end of Q2 2021. Now that compared to 75 in Q1. So they've really found their stride here, you guys, and they're continuing to put products in the market that consumers are excited about, and that's really driving their top line revenue growth. Now I just recently tried out one of their drinks or beverages, the Basecamp iced tea, and I gotta say I was really impressed with it. And when you look at the forum boards or the reviews on these products, a lot of people are really excited about what Valens is starting to put into the market. They're also now getting into the confectionery or baked goods space with some of their double fudge brownies coming out of their Life division. So Life Edibles was actually a company based in Kelowna as well that they acquired a few quarters ago. And between Life, the traditional Valens Company itself, and Green Roads, I feel like this organization overall is getting itself in a really well-positioned spot to take advantage of the blooming 2.0 marketplace and the US pending federal legalization. Now we're going to talk about their market share and some of the provincial highlights towards the end of the video, but I did want to call out a few of the bullet points from the earnings call itself. So key highlights here, you guys. Gross revenue was up 16% compared to Q2 of last year. It came in just over $20 million, which is phenomenal. Again, for a company of this size, they're really keeping up with a lot of the big players in this space. Net revenue came in just under $19 million. Product sales, so these are actually the results of all those new SKUs in market. So product sales compared to what we'll call extraction-based or testing-based revenue, just under $17 million Canadian. And if you look at Q2 of last year, this came in at only $10 million. So they're really making a push on the product side of things as they shift to more of a CPG or consumer packaged goods type of business, which I think is really smart and really positions them well for what's coming down the road 2, 3, 4 years out in the MJ space. Now, subsequent to Q2, they've actually launched an additional 9 SKUs, and they have 40 more that have been accepted by provincial distributors, with the first shipments expected in Q3. So they made a tremendous push in Q2, but they haven't taken their foot off the gas, and that pace is continuing to ramp throughout the back half of 2021. Now, in terms of the baked goods that we talked about, you can see the double chocolate brownie was actually a #1 seller. They also launched their Nuance bath bombs during the quarter, and that was also a #1 seller at the Ontario MJ store, which is the biggest provincial distributor or seller in Canada. Now, last point on here I wanted to mention, I know you guys love it when I talk about cash position. They ended the quarter with just under $24 million, and then on June 1st, they closed an additional $46 million bought deal. So the Valens Company is sitting on nearly $70 million in cash, again on a market cap of just over $400 million. Pretty phenomenal to think that they have that amount of money in the war chest ready to deploy and really push that US expansion as they see fit to ensure they come out of the gate swinging when federal legalization takes place. Now, if you scroll down here, you can see some of the operational highlights. First one listed is their US market entrance with the acquisition of Green Roads for approximately $40 million US. Now, we're going to look at the details of this transaction in a second, but really what this does, you guys, is triple the addressable market and secures their position as a global leader in the MJ health and wellness vertical. So I was super excited about this as a shareholder in the Valens Company. This was really the missing piece for me in the last couple of years, was that US presence, and they've totally addressed that now with this high profile acquisition. And that's what we're going to talk about next here. So here's the transaction overview. This is out of their most recent corporate presentation. You can see the Valens Company plus Green Roads. And this is really the first piece of the puzzle in the US strategy for Valens. And I think this is where a lot of that cash is ultimately going to get deployed over the next couple of quarters here. So Green Roads represents the first piece of the puzzle. This is by no means their entire plan for the United States, but they've now secured a leading CBD business. I believe it's #2 in the US, with distribution, physical retail locations, and an online direct-to-consumer platform. They have their own in-house manufacturing and domestic and international distribution capabilities. And again, you can see the purchase price of $40 million US, which represents a 1.8 times multiple on their fiscal 2020 revenue, or about a 4.5 time multiple on their predicted 2022 EBITDA. Now, in terms of the strategic benefits of this transaction, again, it gives them access to the largest MJ market in the entire world, which is the United States. The CBD portion of that is currently estimated at about $6 billion, but we all know the MJ side of things is really what everybody's looking at. Green Roads was actually the largest privately held CBD player in the States with a #2 rank by market share. They've got a proven team with significant experience and a lot of synergies in terms of their corporate outlook and their mission statement. They've got significant speed to market advantages with a facility that's already up and running, operational, and producing revenue. And then the final point here really has to do with the location. They're located in Florida. So the Valens Company now has a stronghold in Western Canada with their Kelowna, BC operations. They've got a GTA or Toronto-based facility in Eastern Canada, and they've now got this hub in Southeastern United States as well. So they're really spread out geographically, which I think is a smart move to give them access to a number of different markets across North America. So this slide just gives a little bit more insight onto Green Roads, specifically their product portfolio, which you can see over here on the right. They've got a number of different drops, topicals, pet products, chocolates, edibles, gummy bears, whatever the case is. They've got super strong brand loyalty and customer satisfaction. So over 30,000 five-star reviews. 94% of customers say they'd actually return or purchase again. And 96% of customers say they'll actually recommend Green Roads to a friend. So really strong track record here, you guys. We already discussed their in-house manufacturing facility. They've got B2B or business to business operations along with business to consumer, and their products are currently available in over 7,000 retail locations. Now, in terms of their market share compared to some of their peers or competitors in the US, you can see this is really how they stack up. So as mentioned, they're the second largest US CBD company by market share. You can see some of the competitors here: Medterra, CBDMD, CV Sciences, and then the big boy here is Charlotte's Web. Now, Charlotte's Web, as of Q3, had just under 4% market share, so just about double what Green Roads has. However, if you look at their market cap here, you guys, you can see that they're valued at over $500 million, $526 million. So they're trading at a market cap which is 13 times higher than the purchase price of 40 million US, which Valens was able to acquire Green Roads for. So they have just under twice the market share, but 13 times higher valuation or market cap. So you can see the Valens Company really did get a great deal on this company. Now, Medterra is privately held, so we don't know market cap on that one. But if you go down the line here and even look at CBDMD, which only had 1.5% of the market share as of Q3, they're valued at over $180 million. Now, CV Sciences actually has the closest market cap to what we see with Green Roads at 50 million US, and they only have 1% market share in the United States. So again, I think this was an awesome pickup for the Valens Company, and they were able to negotiate a phenomenal price for the portfolio that Green Roads brings to the company. Now, this acquisition really does set them up for a number of synergies moving forward, and the Valens Company has really divided this into 3 different phases. So phase 1 is immediate. They're going to start sharing best practices, whether it's quality assurance, their research and development, testing, whatever the case is. They can leverage their capital, existing relationships, and distribution channels between the 2 companies, expand their product offering, whether that's new formats, formulation, sharing intellectual property, or the introduction of more rare or hard to find cannabinoids. They also have the ability to better segment the market and look at future international expansion plans. Now, phase 2, they've really targeted for the back half of this year and next year, 2022, and that's going to be focused on backwards integration within the value chain. So they're really going to integrate some of their core expertise at the Valens Company in terms of extraction within the Green Roads facility. They're going to introduce enhanced quality standards between the 2 companies, increased efforts in quality control, stability, and testing protocols. And then research and development is going to continue here, you guys. Shared learnings between the 2 companies, their platforms, and the intellectual property. Phase 3 is when it really gets exciting. This is focused on the federal legalization, which I personally think is going to take place within the next 18 to 24 months. And this is really when the Valens Company is going to put their foot on the gas and expand in a massive way. So this is when they can start selling all of their MJ-based products in the United States. They're going to expand their product portfolio, introduce all the brands, products, and associated intellectual property that they sell up in Canada, south of the border. They're going to expand their distribution network using their existing Valens network here in Canada and the Green Roads network in the United States. And they're going to continue to focus on M&A or merger acquisition type of activity, which are really going to complement the businesses and drive value for Valens shareholders. And we're going to look at some of their projected revenue over the next couple of years, and you can see the numbers start to become really big in a very short time frame here. Now, I wanted to throw this slide in because it does really show a nice comparison of the Valens Company between all their different divisions. So you can see the Life Edibles in here. They've obviously got the CBD stuff south of the border, but it compares the Valens Company or product offerings to a lot of the other companies that we've talked about on this channel. So MediPharm Labs, ticker symbol Labs here in Canada. We've got Neptune Wellness, which we just talked about. Canopy Growth, so one of the big players. Aurora, another heavy hitter. And then Hexo, which we've also talked about recently on the channel. And you can see the Valens Company is currently the only one that offers products in every single vertical or every single product category, which includes capsules, tinctures, vapes, beverages. These are the ones I just tried that were phenomenal. Concentrates, edibles, and I believe the edibles, along with topicals, are really going to be where we see a lot of the revenue come from in the coming years. So it's great that they've got an entire division and production facility in Kelowna exclusively focused on edible creation. And then finally, they just recently got into the pre-roll space. So they really do cover the entire spectrum of products quite nicely. And you can see none of their competitors are able to make that same statement. Canopy actually comes closest. They're only missing the topicals, but as we all know, Canopy is a $10+ billion market cap. So they really are comparing to some of the biggest companies in this entire industry, and they still have an advantage over and above what they're able to offer. Now, another big opportunity, in my personal opinion, for the Valens Company would be a partnership with one of these large cap CPGs in another related space, so potentially a beverage or alcohol type of company. And we've actually seen a number of these relationships or partnerships come about over the last few years. So Molson Coors has partnered up with Hexo. We've got Altria and the Kronos Group, Constellation Brands and Canopy. So this is one of the most high profile partnerships that we've seen over the last couple of years. Moosehead Lager with Sproutly, and then finally AB InBev with Tilray. Now there's a number of other food and beverage type companies that the Valens Company has identified that have yet to make any strategic partnerships or investments in the MJ space. So a few that come to mind are Coca-Cola, Nestle, Heineken, Carlsberg, Mondel, and Hershey. So the Valens Company really feels like this could be a potential opportunity for them, and they feel like they represent an ideal partnership given their market positioning and their ability to contract or third-party white label manufacture products. Now, in addition to that, the Valens Company also has their Source technology, which is really a best-in-class emulsion technology that allows them to get MJ into beverages without sacrificing taste or quality. So if you think about a lot of these potential partners, which are really drink-based companies, that could provide a lot of value and really be seen as a negotiation or bartering chip for the Valens Company. So we've now talked about their Q2 results. We've talked about the Green Roads acquisition and what that does south of the border in terms of market opportunity or expansion. We've looked at some potential CPG partnerships or strategic partnerships. Now I wanted to switch gears and talk about the actual retail market here in Canada. So as we all know, we've now launched 2.0 and 3.0 derivative products, and these two charts actually show the monthly breakdown in overall Canadian annualized retail sales, which are now coming in just under $4 billion. So you can see only a couple of years ago, you guys, we were not even at the $1 billion mark. So the overall retail market has grown exponentially. Now the graph on the right here is also interesting. This actually shows monthly sales in Canada broken out by flower-based products versus extraction-based products. And you can see the ratio here is starting to skew dramatically towards the extraction-based stuff, which works out perfectly for the Valens Company. So you can see back in August of 2019, extract-based product sales represented only a fraction of overall monthly sales. And as we move now into April of 2021, you can see they're representing about a quarter of overall revenue or overall product sales. So this is really that inflection point when we saw the 2.0 products launch, and you can see this trend is continuing to move up and to the right, which again is exactly what I want to see as an investor in the Valens Company. Now there's over 1.7 thousand retail stores now operating in Canada with annualized revenue like we saw of $3.8 billion. So the market is growing exponentially. The sales mix is really starting to shift towards extract-based products, and I think both of these are massive catalysts for the Valens Company. So great segue here. Now we're going to talk about the market share that the Valens Company currently holds in the Canadian recreational market. So in Q2, they held 5% of the overall extract-based market in Alberta, BC, and Ontario, so three of the biggest, most populated provinces, and they had 8% market share in the MJ-infused beverage market in those same three provinces. So that again speaks to how attractive or big of a target the Valens Company is to some of these big CPG beverage-based companies. So to start to wrap things up here, you guys, this page really shows some of their strategic initiatives for the fiscal year 2021. And really, these are some of the reasons I'm so excited about the Valens Company, and I'm so bullish on this stock over the next couple of years. So they really want to deliver on existing contracts and expand their partnership network. They have a number of existing partnerships with other MJ producers here in Canada, third-party or white labeling contracts, and then all of the new partnerships through Life and Green Roads in the United States. They're looking to expand their domestic distribution network, so we've seen a number of new provinces and territories come online within the last couple of quarters. They want to launch new products and gain market share, so this really speaks to their expanded SKU count and the market share percentages we looked at on the last slide. And then finally is their global expansion. So again, a lot of the merger acquisition type of activity. They're looking to really increase or maximize their return on investment by finding great deals and great prices on other companies. They've got their EU GMP Good Manufacturing certification, and they're really looking at Europe and Southeast Asia, Australia as their next potential targets or markets to really push their products on a global scale. So to summarize, you guys, the Valens Company is really focused on being a global white label and custom manufacturing solution in the MJ space. They've got a strong portfolio of intellectual property. They've got a number of different extraction techniques, their Source A technology, the exposure in the United States, and a full suite of products that are represented in every single product category. They've got their Western Canadian operations, so 2 different locations in Kelowna, BC with 5 different extraction methods, product formulation, and their emulsion. They've got the Life facility also in Kelowna, BC, which is really focused on the edibles, the white label, and custom manufacturing. In Eastern Canada, their GTA facility, which is expected to come online in the second half of this year. And then obviously their Florida operations through Green Roads, which is focused right now on the CBD formulation and manufacturing, which again, I expect to convert almost immediately to the MJ side of things as soon as federal legalization comes into play. And all 4 of these locations or facilities have the opportunity to export their products globally, which I think is going to catapult the Valens Company to become one of the biggest producers and distributors of MJ extract and related products in the entire world. Now, the last thing I wanted to show you guys before we end out the video here is just a comparison of the Valens Company. Now, at the time this chart was put together, the Valens Company was trading just under $3, $2.91. So you're actually able to get an even better deal on these shares currently. Now, at the start of the video, I talked about some of their expected numbers in terms of revenue and EBITDA in F22 and F23. And you can see by F22, you guys, they're actually expected to make just about $250 million annually in revenue, with that number increasing to nearly $440 million in 2023. So these numbers are tremendous for a company of this size and really speaks to the number of SKUs, the expansion, and the product portfolio that they have at the Valens Company. Now, in terms of EBITDA, we can see 2021, they're actually expected to downtrend from what they did last year in 2020. However, in 2022, that's expected to jump up to nearly $40 million and about $34 million in 2023. So again, tremendous numbers. And if you look at their ratios of enterprise value to revenue, you can see they're substantially lower than any of their peers, whether we're looking at the current year here with a 4.2 times multiple enterprise value to revenue, which gets even more attractive at 2.1 or 1.2 multiple as we get out into 22 and 23. Now, in terms of enterprise value to EBITDA, you can see most of their competitors are actually negative last year and this year projected, with some of them like Kronos Group not expected to have a positive enterprise value to EBITDA ratio within the next couple of years. But for the Valens Company, you guys, they're actually trading at about a 14 to 15 times multiple based on their expected EBITDA in 2022 and 2023. So again, compared to any of their peers here, you guys, they're absolutely blowing them out of the water. And we can see that again with enterprise value to revenue as well. Now, as most of you know who follow the channel, I'm also extremely excited about Organigram and Hexo, which also have some of the lowest multiples on this table. But you can see the Valens Company is trading at a substantial discount to even those companies. And that's exactly why this is my largest position in my entire portfolio, because I see tremendous growth. I think they're trading at a ridiculous valuation right now. And I'm confident that this company is going to become a global leader in the MJ space within the next few years here. So I'm happy to continue to put money in, average down as share price pulls back. I think anyone who wants exposure into the MJ space should take a serious look at the Valens Company. For all the reasons we talked about in this video. I've put out a number of other videos on Valens within the last couple of months, so if you want to get some more detail, feel free to take a look. If you're not already subscribed to the channel itself, McNallie Money, feel free to do so. Make sure you smash the thumbs up, and let me know in the comment section below what you think of this analysis, their Q2 numbers, the Green Roads acquisition, and if you're currently holding shares of this company. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and have a great rest of your day.